Hello viewers and welcome to an experiment video. Now, I was in a Twitch stream yesterday. I was watching Sweet Left Foot. I'm on holiday this week and I managed to tune in for a change. And I asked him the question. He was doing an Arsenal rebuild. He'd done it very successfully. We were talking about the real life Arsenal, who, as we know, have struggled a little bit at the start of this season. I says to him, what about giving somebody like Sean Dyche a go? A good English manager who might bring a bit of northern steel, a bit of northern grit to an otherwise very soft-centred side. Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, both think Arsenal are a bit soft, and I think anybody who's watched them so far this season would agree with that. So what I've done, we've got this year's squad. We've even got Aaron Ramsdale and Odegaard with Arsenal now. We've put Sean Dyche in charge, giving him a 5-year contract, and we're going to fast forward for a couple of years and see if he has any success and brings a bit of steel and success to this Arsenal side. Let's see how he gets on. So then viewers, this is it. End of the first season. Let's have a look how our main man got on. Let's get to Arsenal. It is the 31st of May and we can see straight away he's had a very good season in the Premier League. In fact, he's finished second only to Liverpool. In fairness, there was a bit of a gap there. And he's also got Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as the top scorer, for Arsenal at least, which you would expect. They won the Community Shield, knocked out of the FA Cup in the quarter-final by Manchester United, knocked out of the Carabao Cup by Manchester City in the semi-finals. They've had quite a good season. Let's have a look at some of the transfers that he did. If we go to the transfer history now, he's been busy now. Ramsdale and Odegaard were the two that I did when I first got in at the start of the season to make it realistic, so that got them in. Let's have a look what else happened. He managed to get in Kurzawa from Paris Saint-Germain, Pavon and Sergei Petrov, so he's bought some different type of players. Has he got rid of anybody big in particular? We have a look and you'd suggest not. Nicola Pepe, got rid of him straight away, sent him to Stuttgart for 15 million. That's quite a loss. But obviously didn't fancy him. Granit Xhaka, which I'm sure all Arsenal fans, or most Arsenal fans, will be quite relieved to get rid of. Although I thought he had a cracking Euros in the summer. Cedric probably passed his best and not really good enough to be an Arsenal player. And Kolasinac, he managed to get rid of him as well. So he had quite a busy January. Let's have a look at the tactics in which he employed. No surprise whatsoever, it was a 4-4-2. That was his preference. Leno in goal. So Ramsdale, did he get many starts? Ramsdale? Let's have a look at the squad. Let's have a look who we're playing and when. Leno played 45 games, so Ramsdale really didn't get a look in. He sort of had a very settled side looking at it, but simply played Aubameyang and Lacazette as much as he possibly could. Who during the season got 46 goals between them. So I think you'd really put that down as a successful season, especially for Arsenal in the current state. So what we'll do now, we'll fast forward to the start of the next season, see what transfers he makes in this off-season, and then give him another go. So we'll catch you just after the next. Right then, so season kicks off tomorrow, and believe it or not, Arsenal have got Tottenham on the first game of the season in the second season. So it's going to be a tough start, but after finishing second last year, I'm sure they'll be quite confident. But the main thing we want to have a look at now is the transfers. What has he done in the off-season that's changed it around? Now, he's only made 2 signings, one of which is Mauro Icardi from Paris Saint-Germain, and the other one is David Neres from Ajax, spending 64 million. So he's obviously quite happy with the squad he has. Now, after finishing second last year, you would argue that he will be quite happy with that. Do you know what I mean? And he doesn't feel that he needs too much more, or maybe the board aren't giving him a ton of money. He doesn't feel he needs too much more to catch Man City or Liverpool and get to that top spot. On the other hand, he's got rid of quite a few. Matteo Guendouzi's gone to Marseille. Pablo Mara, who I thought was dire at the weekend against Chelsea, he's been released, sold for 8 million. I mean, he's not really a Sean Dyche type of centre-half, is he? Eddie Nketiah clearly hasn't quite made the step up yet, and bringing Icardi, and I imagine chances for him are going to be quite limited. He's gone to Porto. Willian has gone to Getafe, which is probably behind my head, which you can't see, for 4.4 million. And Callum Chambers has also left. Callum Chambers has gone to Porto, so he's got quite a nice move abroad, which I'm sure will suit Callum Chambers, but he's moulding this side into a very Sean Dyche looking side. And I mean, he's got Kazawa at left wing back. He's actually, well, he might not have dropped Tierney. We'll see after this season, but he's got some good players there. He's really taking shape. Let's see how he gets on in his second season and see if he can improve. And he's got Champions League football to deal with. Sean Dyche in the Champions League. Let's see how he gets on with that. So then, end of the second season. Let's see how we got on. Arsenal. Doesn't look like it's been a good year looking at that. Let's have a look at the competitions. And Arsenal have finished 6th. Now, the one thing we didn't check there was, is Sean Dyche still the manager? He isn't. He's been sacked. So what on earth went wrong? He was sacked. When was he sacked? He was sacked in March. So something must have seriously gone wrong here for Sean Dyche to get sacked. They finished runner-up in the Carabao Cup. They got knocked out in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. They were knocked out in the first knockout round of the Champions League by Bayern Leverkusen. You'd be disappointed with that as an Arsenal... Well, would you? Yeah, you would, wouldn't you? I mean, you've had Champions League football. Last season, you'd have been perfect. You'd have been happy with that, which is the end of this season. So if they were second at the end of this season, I think they'd have been pretty chuffed with that. Something has seriously gone wrong here, and we need to find out what. So, as we started the season, I mean, he didn't have a great start. He lost 3-0 to Tottenham at home at the Emirates on the first game of the season. So that were poor. Followed that up with an away win at Fulham, so they did bounce back somewhat. Icardi and Lacazette, along with Thomas Partey, getting the goals. Manchester City then beat them 2-0, fair enough. And then they went on a nice little run. Admittedly against Leicester side, no disrespect to any of these. Leicester probably not at the moment, but we're doing pretty fine. Beat Porto away in the Champions League group stages. Liverpool got a draw against Liverpool just after that. I mean, Barcelona, that were a tough game. They lost that. But they were doing okay as they went into November. Not losing too many games you'd expect them to lose. Manchester United beating them. So what prompted them to pull the trigger in March? Tottenham did the double over them. That's something to note. Then they got knocked out by Chelsea in the 3rd round of the FA Cup, as we've seen. Again, nothing too bad there. They beat Manchester City away. January, all looking good, and then it really went downhill. So at the end of January, Leicester beat them, and that just that's when it just fell to bits. They then lost to Wolves. They got a draw against Liverpool, but then lost to Bayern Leverkusen, lost to Manchester United, Aston Villa, Chelsea, beat Burnley, beat his old side, fair enough. And I think it really was getting knocked out of the Champions League at the first knockout stage that really prompted them to pull the trigger. And then they didn't lose a single game after they pulled the trigger. Transfers, was anything else done? No, well, he brought in Marco Asensio towards the end of August, just before the transfer window closed. So he did spend 104 million, which, do you know what I mean? Fair enough. Emile Smith-Rowe, he loaned him out. There was no other major departures. Tactics-wise, this new manager's obviously changed it up a little bit. If we look at the squad as a whole, Leno's still very much the first choice goalkeeper. I don't know what's happened to Aaron Ramsdale. He's been injured. He's only played one game. Aubameyang's only played 3 times this season. Well, he's made 27 substitute appearances, so obviously he had a preference for Mauro Icardi. If we go back to the schedule and just have a little look When it was really going well. So they beat Manchester United 2-1 at home. Let's have a look at this. Beat Manchester United 2-1. Still sticking with his 4-4-2, and it was Icardi and Lacazette. So it looks to me as though he dropped Aubameyang. Whether that were a falling out or not, we'd have to see. Ben White and Gabriel were his centre-half pairing of choice. I mean, it weren't looking too bad. Maybe they've pulled the trigger a little bit too early, in my opinion here. I appreciate they'll be upset. And he did lose the Carabao Cup final as well. 3-1, that's something to note. Again, playing his 4-4-2. I think they might have pulled the trigger a little bit early. Especially after that good finish at the end of the first season. So I think he can be a little upset with that. But that's the name of the game. You probably don't get the chances. Maybe you do in recent history. You don't get the time and the chance to really build something. And in fairness, they would point to the fact that after they've sacked him, they've done very well. But then again, do you know what I mean? These teams, you would expect them to win them games, and I think draws away at Leeds. Yeah, it's a difficult one. Would he have got them results? Probably so. But how did he go on against Barcelona? He beat Barcelona at home. Sean Dyche beat Barcelona at home. Playing a 4-4-2. You love to see it. So, has it been a success? I'm not overly sure. He's now unemployed. He's not had another job since. You'd have to say it's not been a bad couple of seasons. He did have a 5-year contract when I put him in charge, and they obviously felt that it was time to go. Would I have given him a little bit more time? Absolutely. So what did he achieve in the end? He got a second place finish. He got out of the Champions League group stages. He did beat Barcelona, but sadly no silverware. Successful experiment? I'll leave that up to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If there are any more experiments or things you'd like to see, please do leave it down in the comments. Let me know if you think that managers like Sean Dyche should be given a chance at these bigger clubs after doing well at the lesser clubs. And again, no disrespect to your Burnleys and teams like that. Let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you on a later video. Goodbye.